And now, the 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by Sprite.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal on 2K Sports, and the NBA season is about to begin. Moments away, it'll be the Indiana Pacers going up against the Miami Heat. For Miami, finally we get to stop talking about this team and actually get to see them in action. Feels like it's been a long offseason. You gotta love David West. Great veteran, brings leadership, toughness, a real edge, Shaq.
Yes, Ernie, he's the last of the old school players. I love his combination of skill and physicality. Not an above-the-rim guy anymore, but he can score, he can block shots, and his pick-and-pop game is immaculate.
Whoa, that's a huge word right there. Hey, you know, this guy's also on the list, isn't he? You don't want to mess with David West, do you?
Well, I'll mess with anybody, but I won't mess with this guy.
You wouldn't mess with David West?
No, Ernie, I'm professional now. I'm up here next to you, Ernie Johnson.
That hardly makes you a pro, but this guy's a pro. Kevin Harlan, over to you.
And now, your Indiana Pacers starting lineup. Starting at shooting guard, standing 6'5", number 2, Rodney Stuckey. At guard 6'2" from IUPUI, number 3, the hometown hero, George Hill. The 7'2" center out of Georgetown, wearing the double nickel, area 55, stand up, big dog, Roy Hibbert. At forward from Xavier University, number 21, he's a bad man, David West. At the small forward position, at 6'9", number 13, Paul George. Your home team head coach is Frank Vogel.
Welcome, everyone, to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the home of the Pacers, where we will be broadcasting today's action live. You're in for a treat as we bring you NBA basketball on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg with Doris Berg reporting from the sidelines. And so the tip-off, it's Miami. So the opening lineup for the Heat, Chalmers and D. Wade are the guards. Nick Roberts at the 4 with Bosch at center. And it's Dang in at the 3 slot. And it's Wade penetrating. Excellent D there from George.
Well, there was a time not that long ago when Rodney Stuckey was considered a rising star in the NBA. Considered a steal with the 15th pick in the 2007 draft. But after back-to-back disappointing seasons, I think it's fair to ask if we've seen the best of Stuckey already.
6 to shoot. George with the ball. He's picked up by Dang. And that one's good, George.
That was Roy Hibbert getting in the way of the defense there.
And here is Chalmers. Wade outside. Bosch sets the pick for Wade. Off the pick. The shot is good off the backboard. And now looks like we've got an injury here, guys. We'll likely see him come out of the game.
Yeah, he's not happy right now. You can see it's really hurting him.
You sure can, Steve. I mean, it's difficult to say exactly how serious it is, but hopefully we'll have an update soon.
The Heat making a switch here. Cole's checked in. About 1 minute into the first quarter. It's back to Hill. Hibbert with a screen for George. Goes up off the pick. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
How about that now? What a sensational finish.
Oh, got to be able to get some hang time to do that one.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate.
And
glide. And glide. You got to glide in and reverse it home. So sweet.
And Rodney Stuckey was playing in a contract season. Started last season breaking his thumb in his car door, and that required surgery. He missed the first month, and as a result, he never did get back to the level he had hoped for.
Hill with it. Just over a minute and a half played here in this one. Hibbert with a screen for George. It's back to Hill. Takes a three. And Indiana, another three.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Now Chalmers. Inside to Bosch. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Indiana's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. Hibbert with a screen for George. Passes to Hibbert. Back to George. On the wing, Hill. 6 on the shot clock. Shot from 12. The shot is off. And Miami the other way now.
Pacers went with an almost entirely new bench last season. It had been a major weakness for the team in 2012-13. The bench was much improved, and you've got to have that to be able to compete at your highest level, no doubt.
Chalmers' shot is no good.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
No, that's for sure, because this guy's too good of a shooter to miss that look consistently.
Now here's Stuckey. And again, it's Indiana. And for the Pacers guys, they lack the deep pockets of some of the big market teams. That can be a challenge when you try to fill out that bench rotation.
Yeah, but I think they've done a good job of fortifying the bench within their constraints. I mean, it's certainly not the weakness that we saw 2 seasons ago.
Here's Cole, following the basket by Rodney Stuckey. Cole, the pass to Chalmers. And another basket for Miami. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, and it's time for an injury report. And now Doris Burke has an update for us on Dwayne Wade. And Doris, what's the news?
Guys, I got an update from head athletic trainer of the Heat. It's bad news, I'm afraid. He's saying that it looks like a broken ankle, which can truly be a devastating injury. The schedule becomes a real grind at this time of the year, and that injury is only going to make things harder on this team. Guys?
Doris, thanks for the update, guys. It doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't, and unfortunately, you can't afford to dwell on it. I mean, you've got to come up with another plan and move forward.
And that's not easy to do, guys, because it's very emotional for everybody on the team to see him go down. But you're right, Clark. I mean, they've got to figure it out and move on.
Here is McRoberts. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
Josh McRoberts, a pretty unique player. 6'10" power forward who's an outstanding passer and quality shooter from range. But he's not without weaknesses. He could be a better rebounder and maybe a better defender for a player with his size and athleticism.
Now, here is George. He's got 5. At the teardrop, Cole with the rebound.
Hey, I like creativity and a circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
Inside, it's tipped and stolen by Hibbert. Stuckey drives inside. And the pass to Hill. Back to Stuckey. Hibbert with a screen on Chalmers. Here's Stuckey. Miami grabs the miss.
And McRoberts' rebounding rate has declined every season in the NBA, and that's 6 straight seasons. A rate last season that's unacceptable for a guy of his size. I mean, he's got to find a way to make a bigger impact on the glass.
And Miami has possession, following the miss by Rodney Stuckey. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Cole. Feeds to Chalmers. Back to Bosch. From 8 feet away, he drops it in. There's 10 seconds left to play in the first quarter. George up top. 1 second left, and he gets it to go. George has got 7 points in the game. And we reached the end of the first quarter. Pacers lead by 4. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we have seen from Indiana. What do you think?
Just the start they wanted to this game. Solid offense. They got good ball movement. Established a nice rhythm.
Yeah, not stagnant at all. Free-flowing and fluid at the offensive end.
Pacers leading by 4. They've got Chris Copeland. Scola out there with Mahinmi. Then it's Watson, and it's Miles in at the 2-guard spot. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Pacers. He came off the screen and finished with authority.
Well, a pick was set at the perfect angle on the floor, and he used it nicely.
Well, that's a play we may see from them a few more times.
Why not? I mean, when it works, you go back to it. Make them stop you.
Here's Napier. Haslam, that's good. Haslam's got his first 2 points.
That's just a case of two teammates working perfectly together. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
The Heat showed no mercy against the rest of the Eastern Conference and really overwhelmed a lot of teams with their offensive punch, particularly if they were defending well, because that allowed them to get out into the open court.
And around a minute gone here in the second quarter. Napier kicks to Anderson. Pass to Cole. Out to the wing. Tries from 10. Shot denied. And he's able to get it back. Clock at 6. Here's Napier. No good on the 3. Indiana leading by 6. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, David West is one of the most consistent guys in the entire NBA. Not only with his production, but with his demeanor on a team. As Coach Frank Vogel said, West has poise and composure. He's our rock. There's no other way to put it. He's a leader for them, Kevin, on and off the court.
A steady vet. Thank you, Doris.
Yeah, one of the savviest players you'll see, no doubt.
Launches a 3. Rebound by Mahinmi.
You know, when he has the ball outside like that, that's exactly the kind of D they need to play on.
Copeland, good.
Well played right there, and you can feel the momentum changing.
I think this league will continue to move upward unless something unforeseen happens.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. The Heat trail by 10. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Napier kicks to Cole. To the inside.
And they force the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Pass to Mahinmi. Indiana moving it around. Watson laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Watson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out in the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Granger dishes to Anderson. There's the pass to Napier. 6 to shoot. Granger from outside. Anderson slams it home for the putback.
He sniffed out that board and then powered it back in.
Pure Mike Clark, so strong going back up with that one.
That's exactly what he's capable of, guys. So strong.
Here's Copeland. Mahinmi passes to Watson. Dishes to Copeland. And it's Chris Copeland with the foul. That's his first foul.
What a great play to sacrifice his body and take the hit.
I thought that was excellent awareness and anticipation to beat him to the spot there.
Mario Chalmers, he's checked in for the Heat. The Heat trail by 10. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. And Haslam kicks to Granger. Now the feed to Haslam. Shot clock at 6. The dish to Chalmers. The tray. And he gets it to go. Chalmers has got it back down to single digits for the Heat.
And I think they're spending a little too much time behind the three-point line in this quarter. They've got to work the ball into the paint.
I agree with you. I mean, it's easy to settle for that three-point shot. I mean, they're making it harder than they need to. Get it in close, get to the line. That's how you get back into a game.
And good on the basket. Book it.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
Heat have gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter.
Now, the Pacers gave up a lot to acquire Luis Scola from Phoenix last season, especially for a player who probably didn't fit in the Suns' plans anyway. They gave up Miles Plumlee, Gerald Green, and a first-round pick. That shows you how highly they thought of the Argentine power forward.
The 3. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Here is Watson. Screen by Scola. Watson dishes to Scola. He feeds it to Mahinmi. Plays it up and banks it in. And now an 11-point Pacer lead. In Scola, now 34 years of age, his field goal percentage, Clark, has dropped for 5 straight seasons.
Yeah, and his turnover rate rose last season as well, despite primarily shooting from outside. And I think part of that was the fact that he was a rotational player and a reserve for the first time in his career. He's been a career starter until just last season.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. And then for Miami, Chris Bosh has checked in for Anderson. Josh McRoberts comes in for Udonis Haslem. And it's Dang in for Danny Granger. Now, here's Chalmers. He has 5. Right side Bosh. Inside and out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. Indiana leading by 11. Hill kicks to Hibbert. Stuckey drives inside. Hill passes to Stuckey. It's back to Hill. He dishes it to George. That 3 off the mark. Miami's gotten into trouble with the 3 ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts. Passes it to Napier. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. It's his first trip to the line.
Taking 2 shots.
First one falls for him. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
And so here is Indiana. They have a 9-point lead. Hill against Chalmers. West setting the pick for Hill. It's hauled in by Luol Deng.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job. Great opportunity right there. He's got such tremendous length. He can just rise up and get separation for the three.
And we've reached halftime in this one. Pacers out in front. They're up by 6. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, David, a great first half that demonstrates a lot of the evolution of this team. As a veteran of this group, can you tell us a bit about the concepts that have helped this cohesion?
You know, we've developed some good habits, creating an identity, but we've just got to continue to try to make the right play every single time. And then the game will speak for itself.
David, thank you. Guys, Coach would point directly to this guy as to what this team is all about.
Thank you, Doris. And folks, don't go away after the break. We'll see you right back here for the start of the second half in the third quarter. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Paul George really making a difference here.
I think this is the kind of quality performance we expect to see from him. He's always setting the bar high for himself, and sometimes I think we just kind of get numb to how good he really is.
You know, Steve, I think it's doubly difficult to keep up the level of play he does when you know you're the focal point of the other team's defense. To be able to play like he has when you have a reputation of being the guy, that's impressive.
Here is Hill. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. Deng and McRoberts holding down the forward spots. Norris Cole is out there with Chalmers. And it's Bosch in at the 5 spot. Now here's Stuckey. 6-point lead. 5 to shoot. Here's Hibbert. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Roy Hibbert, the big dog, number 55 for the Pacers, is 7'2". And is a little too big for king-size beds. Every time the Pacers go on the road, he has to take along a special inflatable mattress that he likes to sleep on. One of the downsides to living large.
And Hibbert's father stands 6'2", and Steve, his mother, is 6'1". But Roy obviously towers over both of them.
Well, he towers over everybody, Kevin. I mean, you know, you look at the family roots. His parents came from the Caribbean. And Roy actually played one game for the Jamaican national team back in 2010. And unfortunately, that actually may rule him out of playing for Team USA. So a very interesting sort of international background there.
And Hibbert hits them both.
A new look lineup for the Miami Heat this season. The big three of LeBron, Wade, and Bosch is no more. Certainly not what the fans hope for, but we'll see what this team can achieve this season with the new group. They'll be energized a bit. Obviously, they'll miss the brilliance of the game. They'll be hungry to prove they can still get it done.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan.
Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started and a better job finishing it off.
The Heat trail by 10. Deng kicks to Chalmers. Deng, a screen on Hill. Chalmers with it. George picks him up. Hill against Chalmers. Kicks it to McRoberts. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Chalmers has got 3 assists now in this one. And for Miami, it wasn't a matter of money or anything. It just seemed that LeBron had accomplished, maybe in his own mind, everything he wanted to himself.
And they did accomplish a tremendous amount. 4 trips to the finals consecutively. They won 2 of them. 2 NBA titles, but this is still a very good team with Wade Bosh and now Luol Deng leading the charge.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Paul George. Coach detailed the ways to ensure he's the one in charge out there, with the ball in his hands and the rest of the players falling in line behind him. Also, he was just as passionate when he told them that they needed to put everything they have into their offensive rebounding. Probably a good time to make some changes with a good chunk of the second half still to go, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Mark, you see Paul George out there, and I just think back to last season when he came out of the gate so hot and just was dominant in every part of the first part of the season. He really set the tone for the Pacers, I thought, last year, and you had a front row seat. You saw it all.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch his quick, hot start. He was consistent, and he really carried the Pacers to a really strong start in the first 2/3 of the season, right at the top of the Eastern Conference. But as hot as his start was, there was a bit of a downturn for him and the team as well.
Yeah, well, you saw it. How did he take it as the season went on?
Yeah, it took a toll on him. Again, that's part of growing into being the guy that's big name on the marquee.
And both free throws good for Paul George.
With George, that slump he hit was right after the All-Star break. You wonder if he just expended too much of himself in that first half of the season.
To the inside. Here's Deng. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
When you talk about that slump for Paul George after such a terrific start, a lot of factors may have contributed. He plays so hard at both ends of the court, takes on a lot of responsibility offensively and defensively for the Pacers. I think it may very well be that he's still learning how to pace himself for that extra responsibility of being a marked player at both ends of the floor.
Both free throws good from Luol Deng.
Luol Deng is the definition of a gamer. He averaged over 38 minutes a game over the last 5 seasons with the Bulls. Played with a fractured thumb, torn ligaments in his wrist. He always goes all out at both ends every time he's on the court.
Now here is George. He's got 11. Stuckey dishes to George. Outside Hill. It's up a 3. The shot's good on the assist by George. 6 points for Hill.
No, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space. And when you talk about the physical toll for Deng playing those long minutes, tremendous discipline and dedication to keep his body ready to go. His hard work and leadership has to be missed by the Bulls on and off the court.
It's taken away by Stuckey. He kicks to Hill. Feeds to West. Hill sets the screen for West. George passes to Hill. Got a piece of it, and it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. And for Deng, back in the 2013 playoffs, he tried to practice through complications from a spinal tap. You don't hear that very often. That was a life-threatening condition.
And Kevin, he was unhappy with his care during that incident and said nobody from the Bulls checked up on him at the hospital. So I think that cast a real cloud over their ensuing contract negotiation.
Now, tough call there on that illegal screen.
He didn't look set to me, Steve. I thought that was a good call.
Mahinmi's checked in for Roy Hibbert. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Hill against Chalmers. The drive by Hill. Misses from close range.
That's kind of a shocker. The defense was there, but it wasn't right in his face. Kind of out of character for him to miss those. Chalmers, and the shot is good. Chalmers has got it back down to within single digits for the Heat. Nice soft touch to drop that one in. Hill with it. 6 points for him. On the wing, George. Hill drives in, and that one's good. Hill's got 8 points. And their interior defense getting exposed once again. How many open looks at the rim are they going to allow? Anderson, a screen on Hill. Here's Chalmers, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Well, Mario Chalmers, coming into last season, made a bet with Ray Allen about how much each could slim down and get in peak shape. Seemed to pay dividends for Chalmers in particular, who had probably the best season of his NBA career.
And Chalmers really not the quickest point guard in the league, but he has active hands defensively and pretty good feet. And those takeaways help get the Heat out in the open court, which certainly plays to their strengths.
And Chalmers, more of a role player for the Heat. Not a huge playmaker, Steve, but he can knock down open threes. Yeah, he's an efficient scorer, and his passing has gotten better over the last couple of seasons. He's a perfect role player for Miami because he can guard opposing point guards extremely well and then slide off the ball when Wade has it. You know, there's been some debate over the idea of the quote-unquote hot hand. One study implied that it actually doesn't exist. I always felt as a player that, as soon as I felt the ball go through the hoop a couple times, I was much more likely to make that next one. Now, here is Hill. 8 points for him. Just 4 to shoot. And George, here we go. Rebound by the Heat. Anderson's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Here's Dang. Rebounded by Luis Scola. Well, that hot hand study, Clark, we were talking about a little bit earlier, they realized it didn't take into account how difficult the shots were. And, hot players take those heat check shots.
Yeah, they do. They do. And not to mention, they draw more defensive attention once they get on the roll. So I think it comes back to common sense. Definitely try to get a hot player the ball, but above all else, you want quality shots.
Now a timeout called by Miami. A lot of pressure and expectation last year for the Pacers in the playoffs. No longer were they an underdog or a feel-good story. They were expected to make a deep run. The Heat trail by 11. Here's Napier. Good. And they would return to the Eastern Conference Finals after some scares for them in the early rounds. You saw it. But, Clark, once again, they could not beat the Heat.
And the difference there, Kevin, was the mentality and fortitude of the Heat. Clearly, the talent was pretty equal, but I thought the leadership of LeBron and the brilliance of Dwayne Wade was just a little too much for a young, evolving team to handle.
Good insight. Mahinmi's shot is good.
They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half.
Here's Chalmers, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Chalmers has got 11. I'll tell you what, he's enjoyed a very good day shooting the ball so far. He can bring them right back into this. Hill kicks to Watson. Hill dishes to Scola. Right side, Scola. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. Mahinmi's got 6 here in this quarter.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
There's the pick. Chalmers passes to Anderson. Watson kicks to George. Left side, George. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. 13 points for Paul George.
You know, something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Oh, he knocks it in, a beautiful buzzer beater.
Just in time. What a terrific shot. Those Hail Mary buckets always take your breath away.
And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
Well, tremendous point guard play, but that's nothing new coming from him. This is what you expect. The gorgeous feed there.
Miami with the ball. It's a 10-point game. Paul George is the 3 with David West at the 4. Hill is out there with Rodney Stuckey. And it's Hibbert in at the center, filling out the middle. That's the Pacers 5. Here is McRoberts. Dang dishes to Bosch. Back to Dang. 6 to shoot. There's the 3. McRoberts misses. Pacers leading by 10. West right side. Outside Hill. Back to George. And he drops in the layup off the glass. George has got the first basket as we get going in the 4th for Indiana.
Well, we've seen that more than a few times. An easy bucket in the lane.
Yeah, the interior defense simply has been lifeless.
And David West gets the whistle that time. And as he's checked in for Reggie Williams. And we've played through about a minute here in the 4th. McRoberts, the pass to Dang. And Chalmers kicks to Dang. 6 to shoot. And Luol Deng gets the whistle that time. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
He had pretty much played mistake-free basketball up to that point. That's really the only time he's turned it over so far.
And Miami making a change here. Haslam's checked in. Pacers leading by 12. And here is Hill. Outside, George. West a screen on Deng. George double teamed. Stuckey outside. Out of bounds. Miami takes possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
Napier, he's checked in for Miami. And the Heat call time here.
You know, all coaches hate defensively when you give up easy points in the paint. That's inexcusable. So that's the reason for this timeout here.
I think it came down to the fact they were getting beat inside, and that's why the coach called timeout. They were not winning the battle inside.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said, they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get us stops, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
Off the mark, get a chance to trim it to single digits. Outside Hill. Back to Stuckey. Hibbert with a screen for Stuckey. 5 on the clock. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Hill drives in. The Heat trail by 12. And Chalmers kicks to Napier. Can't connect from short range.
This has not at all been the kind of performance they've needed out of him.
Stuckey up top, defended by Chalmers. Hill kicks to George. It's back to Hill. The rebound by McRoberts. McRoberts has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Pass to Napier. Three-pointer. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Chalmers has got his 5th assist in this one. Pacers leading by 9. Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, last season the fans in Indiana finally came back in bunches to support their hometown Pacers. The top 10 in attendance, up from 25th in 2013.
Coles check in for Napier. And it's Hill penetrating. Knocked away. McRoberts dishes to Chalmers. Good ball movement here by Miami. And with that shot, the Indiana lead is cut down now to just 7 on the basket from McRoberts. Well, Clark, you look at the low attendance numbers for the Pacers in years past from 2007 to 2012. They averaged the 2nd worst in the league. I think that surprised a lot of people.
It really did. It surprised me and the rest of the organization as well. Yet that corresponds with the seasons that the Pacers actually dipped below 500, and there wasn't a lot of promise on the horizon. With the Pacers winning now, and from what I hear, the TV ratings are also over double. Actually, I know the TV ratings for that team have doubled up since 2012, so things are headed in the right direction now. Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Stuckey passes to Hibbert. Dang against George. Clock at 6. Takes the 12-footer and hits. George has got 7 now in this quarter.
Boy, they look helpless defensively.
And the Heat call time here. Paul George really making a difference here.
He's on fire. They needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hand.
And the Heat making a change here. Napier's checked in. The Heat trail by 10. Now, here's Chalmers. Here's Bosch. Good, and it's Chalmers with the assist that time. Chalmers has got his 6th assist on the night. Here is Hill. 1:51 left here in the 4th quarter. Pass to George. Back to Stuckey. Outside, George. Just 5 on the clock. Again, Indiana.
They played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without them, they may not be in the league.
For Miami, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the 4th. We've got 1:23 left in the 4th quarter. And Chalmers kicks to Dang. Right side Bosch. Shot clock at 5. Good.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Pacers leading by 8. Hill up top. Defended by Chalmers. Hill dishes to George. It's back to Hill. On the wing, Stuckey. And the basket good. And the Pacers lead by 10.
And at this point, just sort of running through the paces, going through the motions as it appears. It'll be a nice win here for the Pacers.
And Clark, they really lit it up in this one. Fantastic offensive performance.
Most definitely. They shot the ball extremely well. It's a game to be proud of.
You look at the stats and you'll see just how dominant a game this was for George. Every time he shot it seemed like it was just going to drop in, and nobody was surprised.
And Chalmers kicks to McRoberts. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Roy Hibbert picks one up.
Shooting for Miami, Josh McRoberts. 2 shots.
He drops the first one, and that brings them within single digits. And he cannot convert on the second. That misses.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Outside, George. The pass to Hibbert. That falls. Nice speed that time from George.
And they're not finished yet. They're going to make sure about this win.
Yeah, that's how you close out a game, Steve.
Here's McRoberts. The offensive rebound. Here's Dang. Excellent D there from George. The Pacers have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the fourth so far. It's been a great start to this final quarter for them. Outside Hill. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
And so now we'll go down to Doris Burke, who's standing by live with our Jordan Player of the Game. Doris?
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on the win. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Paul, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.